I'm Nikki, and today's space is especially yours. For the next 45 minutes, we're going to go through a gentle mind body practice that allows you to breathe, have a little wiggle, create some space and strength in your body. And this time has been reserved for you to just really connect with the feelings of your body and to deepen the friendship that you have with your body. If you have a chair, I'd love you to bring your chair to the mat and just take a seat right at the edge. So I've got a seat here behind me, and you can sit in it either all the way back for full support, or you could choose to sit on the very edge, which is where I'm going to be for most of the practice today. We're going to start with a little bit of breath work, some flow and strength using the chair. We'll stand for a little stretch and then make our way to the ground if you'd like to. And before we begin to move, it's just really important that we all come together today acknowledging that every single one of us have a moving architecture of our body that changes from day to day. We're all here with our own unique life stories in different bodies, and I just want you to drink in what you need and take what you need from each pose. If anything doesn't feel right for your body, I'm going to invite you to just close down your eyes and devour this time to breathe, to find some stillness, or even just to have a little wiggle. Even moving the tissues is going to really help enliven things. You can make this practice especially yours. To begin, I'm going to invite you to feel your feet really grounding into the earth beneath you. And I'd like you to bring the awareness of pressing down through your feet and bringing the energy up the legs and into the hips, which are grounded into the chair. A long spine, gooey shoulders, if you'd like to start by giving them a little shake. And then as you start to breathe, I want to invite you to take one hand to your heart, one hand to your tummy. And I'm going to invite you then to close down your eyes and just breathe with me. As you take your first deep breath into your tummy, I want the breath to be tangible beneath your hands so that you can feel the way an inhalation expands the heart, the tummy, your body, and how the exhalation just softens everything. Shoulders, neck, jaw. Your inhalation is the beginning of a smile, not only with your lips, but with your entire body. And your exhalation is a coming home to the center of your body, to the center of your heart. I'm going to ask you to just keep breathing in a way that feels natural and unforced until it almost feels like you're slow dancing with your breath. You can feel your feet grounding into the earth. You can feel your collarbones smiling as your shoulders drop away from the ears. And perhaps you can feel a softening around the neck and jawline as your breath grows deeper. Now I'm going to count backwards from 5. And with each number I count, I want you to drink in a breath that opens you up, fills you up, and lets you go. 5. Breathe into your heart space. 4. Become aware of the body that is holding you here. 3. Let your shoulders drop another 20 inches or so. They can relax for now. 2. Invite gentleness into your moment. And 1. Feel yourself coming all the way into your moment. Feet on the earth, heart to the sky. And let the last thing be your eyes opening gently. We're going to start the practice by letting that breath carry our arms outward and upward towards the sky. From here, you can even push into your feet to feel a little more activity in the legs as you reach. And as you breathe out, just let the hands float down by your side. Now we're going to do that 5 more times with the inhalation lifting the arms. Stretching into the lines of the body, and the out breath grounding you back down into the chair. The arms can be really soft and floaty, or you could make that decision to send a little more energy out into the fingertips, almost like you're pressing the energy down and then lifting the energy up. That's perfect. As you start to move, you might start tuning into what needs a little more breath and space in the body. Let yourself fill up fully and completely here, and exhale, let it go. Now the hands are going to come in front, and we're going to open everything out to create this open heart space. And on the next breath out, we're going to tuck the chin, soften the neck, a little sigh, and slowly curl the tailbone under, leaning into your spine to create a little pussycat stretch here. So your inhalation will open your heart and your front body, which is what I call our line of courage. And your out breath will sail you into a curling spine, lengthening your back body, which I call the line of protection. Now you can continue to sail with me here, the inhalation and opening of the heart, and an exhalation, a beautiful protection of the heart, stretching the spine and strengthening the core. The breath is yours, so you can add as much energy or just float as gently as you like. Your inhalation expands you. The neckline is soft. And the out breath, you might even want to feel a little scoop of the lower tummy drawing in and up as you curl. Just inviting the core to move with us. This is your last breath out here. As you take a little bow, can you just interclasp your hands? Deepen the C shape of your spine and stretch your knuckles to me. You can let the head drop fully, and then we're going to move the chest forward and reach the knuckles to the sky. And on the out breath, the hands are going to drop down and find each other behind your back this time. Now, as we interlock, either the knuckles or we can hold a wrist or a hand, we're going to reach the fingers back in order to stretch open through the fronts of the shoulders. And then the first thing we're going to do is take a deep breath into the heart. And as we breathe out, we're going to let the head drop down, chin to chest. And you might like to even lean your chest forward a little bit as you draw the knuckles back to deepen that sense of stretch. Decide where you'd like to be for one full breath, openness of the shoulders and strength of the arms. And then we're just going to let the hands drop and dangle. Give them a little shake here. We're going to make energy by our own design. Tapping into our own sense of magic, can you bring your palms together And just let them dance quite briskly, give them a nice little boogie until you feel some heat and energy between your palms. And then I'm going to ask you to just separate the hands and gently lay your palms over your eyes. If you stop to notice and soften into the shoulders, I wonder if you can still feel that little tingle of your hands and the warmth and softness of your palms cradling your face. We're going to bring the palms back together at heart center. Create a little more heat. Take the fullest breath in and out. And this time we're going to use those warm, strong palms to ground down into the thighs. And this time I'd like you to give them enough push that you can feel your arm muscles activating and even your core responding with that little extra energy. On the in-breath, the palms come to heart center. And on the out-breath, you're going to send one hand to the sky and one hand to the floor and stretch them apart. The inhalation brings the hands back to the center. And the exhalation has you changing sides. That's exactly right. Now, I'm not even going to say left or right. You're going to inhale through the center. You're going to take your favorite hand to the sky, the other one to the ground. And we're just going to make sure we alternate so that we've had that beautiful energy balanced between both sides of the body. One hand goes up, one hand presses down. Hands come back to the center. Now we're going to do that just one more time, breathing in and breathing out to stretch one way. Breathing into the center and breathing out one more time to the other side. Maybe softening the neck a little more this time. Perfect. And when we come back to center, we're now going to bring a deeper focus to where our hands are going. On the in-breath, I'd like you to look up to the hand that's reaching for the sky. And on the out-breath, I'd like you to look down to the hand that's pushing down into the earth. We're going to swap that over. On the in-breath, we're going to gaze up to the hand that reaches for the sky. And as you breathe out, you're going to look down to the hand that grounds you. See if you can dance with me 6 more breaths. An inhalation to lift and look up. An exhalation to ground down and look down. An inhale to the sky. An out breath to the ground. And what I hope that you'll feel is this extraordinary lengthening sensation as you reach up and press down all at once. You might feel the sides of your body opening up. We call this the line of space, creating more space to breathe into the ribs. And then the hands just arrive at the shoulders. The elbows travel to the sky. They go out wide like a big yawn, and we're going to take 5 circles here. If that feels a little much, you can just let your hands circle any way you like, but you'll notice that it really deepens the stretch to find that connection. You will look really beautiful where you are here. A consciousness to soften through the neckline. She's done enough for one day. Let it relax. And then as we reach up, we interclasp the knuckles and we just let the hands go. An inhalation to fill up with a little sense of light and a big sense of joy. An out breath to let go and just shake out any tension in the shoulders. Inhale. We're going to breathe through here 5 more times. And I want you to imagine what it is you're filling up with, light, love, joy, and what it is you're letting go of to make more space for that. Inhale. You can let out a big sigh if you like. Feels really good to do so. And Even give the head and shoulders a little wiggle. 2 more times. That's it. You're letting go of the day that has been and just arriving right into the now. Let the hands reground where they were before. Let the shoulders melt. And let one ear just fall to your shoulder. Doesn't matter which one, I promise we'll do both. Really let go here. Noticing how even that breath work has lifted our heart rate a little. Chin tucks to the heart, and we're just going to roll our head gently to the other side so that one ear reaches for your shoulder. And it's like the top ear is listening to what the sky has to say to elongate that neck stretch. You've got it. Now on the next one, we're going to go through my favorite breath sequence, which is the breath of joy. We're going to start with the hands at our heart. And we're going to imagine that it takes 3 full deep breaths in to fill our body to the brim with energy and lightness. So we're going to practice that, and it's just going to feel like 3 sips of air in through the nose. We breathe in, and on the 3rd time full to the brim, we savor it, and then we just let it go, just like that. We breathe in 3 times. We fill up with lightness, and then we just... Now, if you want to add a little more, we're going to breathe in, and then we're just going to and shake it out. This time the hands go up straight away. Inhale, 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 and watch how you could even, if you want to let go a little more. 3 more times for you. A deep breath in and in, filling up with lightness, letting go of any tension we don't want to carry away from the practice. Inhale, inhale. 1 more. Whole body size. Feel that layer of tension just shaking away. Have some fun with it. Last time through, we breathe it in. Your own fill of joy and to make more room for it. A roll of the shoulders. And I actually want to see you give your ribs a little wiggle here. That's all we're going to do. The movement is very subtle, but it might feel surprising as to how much we have to stretch here around the ribs. It's just a little sway. Now, if you can add a little shoulder roll, this is going to get the brain and the body coordinating together. And it's super important you don't worry so much about what this looks like, but just lean into what it feels like. I'm a big believer in just playing sometimes and coloring outside the lines. Not having to fit a perfect mold, but just feeling like we're moving because it just feels good to move and knowing that's enough. And if you want a little more, you might just bring the elbow around. And you're going to see how I'm just letting my head go almost like a rag doll, like I'm listening to music and just going with it. The last step would be to let the arms just to go wherever they want to go. You could stay high, you could dance them wide, but here's what we're going to do on a Monday. We're going to close our eyes down, if that feels safe. And for a count of 10, I'm just going to ask you to soften your neck. Gently smile with your face and have a little dance, literally like nobody is watching. Because now they're not. Eyes are closed. Breath is flowing. Give yourself permission to dance and just have a little wiggle for 5. And 4, you can have a cheeky smile. And 3, go to somewhere that feels good. 2, and eyes open on 1. Let the hands just wave down so gently. And then almost in slow motion, open up that line of courage. You delicious human, that was beautiful. Take one hand across the body and then just collect it. You're gonna feel like if you pull that arm over, but take this shoulder and pull it back, you've got a little tug of war sensation to stretch the front of that shoulder. So we simply expand to where it feels good or like a stretch. And then we bring the other arm across, but then feel that shoulder just pulling back to feel the stretch. Perfect. One more time. We open, deep breath. Good. We sail every movement on a flowing breath. That looks perfect. And on this last one, become aware of your feet again and really anchor them into the earth. Simply by doing that, you're going to light up all the muscles of the legs so they can benefit from that strength work too. Now on the next one, we're going to take a hand behind the body and it's going to look like this. And then you're just going to take your other hand and gently pull it across a little further and lean your head toward your hands. As you drop this shoulder and let that jaw just go, I hope it feels like a layer of tension has an opportunity to just melt for a second. Let it all the way go with the softness of your breath. And then as you gently let go of the hands, open back into that line of courage. Breathe into your heart space and just change sides. You see those fingers playing peekaboo around the corner? We're going to grab them, gently tug on them and lean the head toward the hands. I always find these moves make it really apparent as to how much we can hold through the neck and shoulders even without knowing. Devour the opportunity to really soften today. And in one more time each side, we open the heart and we soften one hand behind, a gentle pull and a softening through the neckline. You might even feel this top ear leaning outward. What does the sky have to say? And then one more time. Take that hand behind and just feel the shoulders go. Pretty scrummy way to finish a Monday, a little dance, a yummy neck release. But now we're going to travel those sensations of strength and stretch down into the lower body. You have your heels underneath your knees. And all I want you to do is take your favorite foot, I'll say your favorite, dig that heel into the ground and straighten one leg. You can just mirror me if you like. We're going to squeeze that thigh and reach same leg, same arm to the sky. You push down into your other hand to lean back a little. And as you send your bottom backwards, you're going to bring your heart to me and reach down to let your hand fall anywhere on that leg, from your knee to your shin to maybe even finding the toes. But no pressure, no stress, no strain. Just that place where you kind of go, ooh, that's a good stretch, where you don't tend to have to go very far. Your neck is going to soften and so are your shoulders. And you're going to notice if you draw the toes back and squeeze that thigh, you get a little extra juice. Now pushing down into your flat foot, we're going to sit up nice and tall and bring that straight leg across until you create what we call this little eye of the needle. So I've got the outside edge of my foot just resting on that thigh. Sometimes it feels nice if we just cradle it so it knows it's fully supported, and we're going to wiggle the bottom backwards a little bit. Now, one hand is going to pull up on the tippy toes, and one hand is going to very gently press down on that thigh. I don't know about you, but that's pretty juicy for me, just right there. But if you'd like a little bit more, we're going to inhale to open the heart. And as we breathe out, we're just going to take a little baby bow, maybe 1 centimeter, maybe a little more. But again, we're looking for a little pull of the toes. That outside knee is gently pressing down. And we might feel this little woo around the outside of that hip, I hope. We're going to inhale, sit up tall, so it just relieves the stretch for a second. Soften. And as we breathe out, we're going to gently soften the shoulders and hinge back in again, just to that place where you think, yeah, that's a really good stretch. And then inhale to grow tall. Now that you've seen it, I'm going to encourage you to just drop the chin so you can relax the back of the neck, not having to worry about looking up, and just taking that nice little dive to find that sensation. One more breath to lift, and you might find that just every time with the encouragement of your breath, you can go just a little bit deeper into the stretch. As you come up, see how that knee is out wide? We're just going to cross it, just like you would be cross-legged in a chair. And we're going to take that opposite arm over and almost pull that thigh across your body. And in opposition, that other hand is just going to reach back behind you. So you've got one hand pulling your thigh across your body, and the same leg you have on top, that same arm is what stretches you back. Inhale, dance your fingers to me, say hi. Good, you're with me. That's amazing. And then we're going to gently turn the body to the back again. You guys are absolutely gorgeous. When I can't hear you, it's everything to see you have a little wave. I know you're right in flow with me. 2 more times. You might even like to feel that you tuck the tailbone just a little bit more. And this can give a little bit more of a contraction through the tummy and a little bit more space in the lower back, which feels really nice. Lucky last one to stretch and open. And then we're going to come back to the center and widen out into the legs. Now, if this here is the line of courage, and this here, stretching the back line, is your line of protection, we're going to drop the hands and we're going to affirm what the line of space is. So ground your hips and stretch one arm open. And when you lean out into your ribs, thumbs up if you can tell me why it's called the line of space. The line of space and stretch. Space to breathe in these beautiful ribs. And then we're going to come up and over to the other side. This hand can be anywhere it likes. I quite like to feel those tissues stretching. You can just place them gently over the ribs or gently over the thigh. Now on this one, let your head just go. Let it just go more like a rag doll. This can be a really interesting lesson as to how hard it is to relax our neckline. It's a really beautiful practice to just let it have a time out as you build strength in the body, softness in the neck. Soft shoulders, strong bum is what I like to think about. Let that go. And if you do press down into your feet, everything starts with the feet. You'll notice that the simple act of pressing down into your feet on purpose lights up your bottom, those muscles of the thighs and glutes, and let it go. And this inside line then is the last line I like to focus on with every practice, which I call the divine line. Now, if like me, you have the knees over the ankles and you're gently pressing the knees out, I can already feel a stretch here and I haven't even done anything. Can you please let me know if you two are already in a stretch here? Room for a little bit more. Good. Now my bottom is right at the edge of the seat, but you can be anywhere on this chair for it to feel really good. It just gives us a little bit more room to move. As we breathe in, our palms are going to gently press the knees back so we can move the chest forward. And with that little pushing action, you're going to feel these muscles turn on a little more. Now, as the shoulders soften, could we just lean forward to feel just a little extra? When you inhale again, it's to come tall and to reach the arms up. And as you breathe out, it's to press the knees back gently and to lean forward, just enough to feel that stretch here. You've got it. Deep breath in. If you visualize how we walk, we can get quite strong through the fronts of the legs and the backs of the legs, but we very rarely walk in this position. So it's often a really, really nice set of tissues and muscles to mobilize so that we feel more free in our body when we are walking. Last one here. And then those legs are going to come together so we can give that little flow to the other side. The other leg now stretches out, so you can mirror mine if you like. The toes are curled to the nose and we're going to squeeze that thigh nice and strong. Now on the inhale, we lift up and we push into that bottom hand to just lean back a little. And then as we soften the neck, we strengthen that thigh like we're pulling it off the knee. And we're just going to reach for that foot, but your hand can rest anywhere on the leg you like. Shoulders go gooey, and you can just gently nudge those toes to come back a little further, feeling a stretch through the calf, the hamstring, maybe even the lower back. As we come up tall, we're going to collect that leg and just place it over the other thigh. Just let it fall wherever it falls, no matter how high or low it is. It's perfect for where you're at. One hand gently pulls up and one hand gently opens up. So a little pull-push action. An inhalation to lift up tall. And just an exhalation to give me a little bow here. That's it. Little tiny one. The inhalation to grow tall. And I want you to feel how you can be both soft and strong all at the same time. The energy in the hips is quite strong, but the breath remains soft. It's just transporting you from one position to the next. Take a bow. One more time to open everything. On the next out breath, I want you to soften particularly into your lower spine. Try not to hold, but to release. And when you found that little sense of wow in your stretch, you're going to cross that leg over and just nudge it over a little bit further because I'd love you to feel that stretch here. This hand is what's going to move away. So you've got one hand as a fulcrum to allow your upper body to twist and open to where you want to go. Hand dances back to me with a little wave. That was one. And we inhale to expand on number two. At this point, once you have found the movement, just remember anything I ever share with you is a guide. You can then turn it into anything that just feels wonderful to move in your body. Your body will always be your greatest teacher. And I hope I just give you some fun inspiration to move it beautifully. One more time to open. One more time to let go. And as you uncross the legs this time, our last seated pose is to gently cradle the knees with our hands and to almost pull the knees up so that you can open the front of your body. On the out breath, we're going to turn the fingers in, root down into the thighs, elbows wide. And if you see this first one from the side, I'm pushing into the hands to really pussycat curl that spine, creating space between each vertebra, a connection to the core. We're now going to flow through 3 more times, a little pull on the knees. And an exhalation to scoop and curl. Your spine likes to extend, it likes to flex. It likes to twist, and it likes to move from side to side. My promise is that we will always move the spine in a multi-directional way every class to ensure we build as much strength and mobility here as possible. That will always explore that line of courage, protection, space, and divinity for a really balanced flow. If that was your last one, could you give the shoulders a little tiny wiggle? And as you take the legs out really wide for the last time, we're just going to have a little tiny balance here. With the hips pressing back and the hands reaching forward, a spicy little challenge for the hip strength. We're going to lean forward just a little bit and root down into the feet like you're going to stand up. And if you want to, you can lift the hips just a little bit off the chair and back down again. That's it. Hands come to the heart. We have a little wiggle. Now, 5 times in total, that was 1. What you'll notice is that even if you don't lift up your bottom, but you imagine you are about to, you still get all the benefits of lighting up the legs, the bottom, the tummy. You'll feel it all. So I just want you to imagine you are going to lift up, and if it feels good to, go for it. We will be building our sense of strength and stability. Yes, that was so good. Especially those first couple, you almost want to check, is that chair exactly where I left it? Good. We're going to do that just 2 more times. A little reach, a little lower. And this one, I'm not going to lift up my hips, but I want you to observe it's just so interesting how you can still feel all that work in your legs even without lifting off. Let it go. Absolutely beautiful. You're going to stand all the way up when you're ready. We're going to do one yummy standing pose. And we're going to just face the back of your chair. The feet, you're going to take a big step, first of all, away from your chair. And just have your feet hip distances apart, soft knees. And as you reach out your hands, you'll feel what your perfect distance is. If you'd like to watch the first one, I'm just bending the knees, sending the hips back. And this is what we call melting heart pose. We're going to let our ears just soften between the biceps. We're going to play with the foot position until that feels good. And then we're going to take a deep breath to really light up our heart space. And as we breathe out, we embody the name of the pose, melting heart. Tuck the chin gently and pressing down through the palms, very slowly curl and ripple through the spine to roll back up again. And when you do, you're going to turn to face me with just one hand on your chair. Soft knees. Show me that your hips can wiggle from side to side. That's a 10 out of 10. Now you're going to press down through that hand to evoke a little bit of strength, but the move itself is very soft and floaty as we reach up and over to the chair and then we let it go. We're simply going to do that 4 times each side, and then we're going to slow it all down, ensuring that we have balanced strength and energy with rest and just being in the moment, being in our beautiful bodies. 2 more times, just a floating breath that lifts you up. And when you're deciding on how far to go with anything, truly the second you feel that sensation of, oh, nice stretch, that's as far as you need to go to create real change in your body. I'm going to do a little flip around. I'd love you to do the same, or you could just move your chair to the other side. Maybe I will keep a little cheeky eye on you. And then from here, you can just follow my voice. If you have your back turned, we're going to stretch towards the chair and then dance away from it. The action of just sliding the hips side to side will be an absolutely beautiful way to just soften the tissues that wrap around the outside of our hips and our waist. And you might notice how you move just a little more freely when you walk away from this class. Hopefully we've softened the nervous system a little too for a beautiful night's sleep tonight. One more time to move across. Soften through the side of your face. And then this is just one big breath that we do in celebration of each other's energy, because we've all moved within each other's energy space today. A deep breath in, embody it any way you like. And a deep breath out to just soften everything as you come to your center line. The neck is soft. And for the remainder of this practice, there are a few moments that are carved out for you to slow everything down and to just meditate with me for a little while. There are two ways you can do this, especially when you have the support of the chair. The first option, you might like to lean right back into the chair for support, hands either grounding to the thighs or supporting your heart and tummy. Or if it feels good and you're ready to really unwind, you might even like to come to the ground. And what I would recommend, if you do, is to create a little support for your calves. So I want to give you both options so that you can just find a position that feels most dreamy and relaxing and comfortable as possible. Our calves carry a lot of tension, and it can feel really wonderful and grounding for the nervous system to let them be held like this. But in just the same way, leaning into the back of your chair, literally feeling your spine supported, will have that same gentle effect on your body, mind, and heart. Now, this next breath or two is just a little moment of transition for you to wiggle and snuggle until everything feels just right. You might just let your eyes fall closed. You might let the hands just flop by your side, or it might feel really beautiful to have them gently connecting with your body, perhaps over heart, over tummy, or even just softly on your thighs. As you start to breathe, let it come and go as it pleases. At first, simply notice the way your inhalation fills you up, quite literally giving you life and energy. And then notice when that breath leaves you, everything starts to soften. An inhalation to expand. And an exhalation to let go. This time is especially yours. as the wild of the world slows down and quietens around you. Let yourself adventure softly and dreamily into the world inside of you that carries love and breath, gentleness and deep gratitude. For a moment or so, slow dance with your breath as you notice your shoulders falling away from your ears, as you notice your jawline unraveling and your heart space softening. Slow dance with your breath while your lower back just melts and relaxes. While the hip muscles soften. While the calf muscles unravel. And as you slow dance with your breath, notice the gentleness of your fingertips and the way your toes just relax in their natural curl. In this very moment, there's nowhere else to be, nothing you have to do. Except breathe into the magic of every inhalation that fills you up, and every exhalation that grounds and softens you. With your eyes still closed, I'd like you to drink in the deepest breath that you have taken all day so far. Imagine what it would look like if your whole body was smiling. And then slowly and kindly escort the breath out, dropping deeper and deeper into your moment. You might like to bring your hands to your heart or onto your body if they're not already, and consciously feel that breath moving beneath your hands. To make this moment special, I would like you to feel into something that makes you smile, that brings you joy, that makes you feel truly grateful. Feel into that sensation until your body really is smiling. And then I'd like you to breathe to really drink in these words, just like you are saying them to yourself. I embody my body. I trust my body. I love my body. Deep breath in. A big sigh out. And the warmest invitation to come back into your moment in all the time you need. Maybe a little wiggle of the fingertips and of the tippy toes. A little wiggle into your body, a yawn and stretch. The only thing we don't have time for in this space is time to rush. We're here to do just the exact opposite of that. As humans, we get really good at being a human doing all the doings. This is a magic time to practice the art of being. I thank you so much for inviting me or welcoming me here to share this space and time with you. It's been beautiful to practice with you. There's one last breath we share for each other and for ourselves to honor that we showed up for ourselves here on the mat and for each other. A big yummy breath in, invite in what you wish to feel for your evening, for your moment, and exhale, bring it all back to your heart. Namaste, and wild love from my heart to yours.